This is the MLW Radio Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Josh Shernoff, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
It's going to be a good day.
It is.
It's going to be a good day.
Tell everybody why it's going to be a good day.
It's going to be a great day because normally we don't do guests, but today we will have a very special guest in Giovanni Hamilton. For those outside the United States, or just, not local to Philadelphia, Giovanni is a really inspirational kid. I hate calling him a kid because he's he's wiser than just a kid. So,
but I think it's, you know what? And that's, I think it's great calling him a kid. He's 13. I think it's great because we're calling him a kid in the most positive way.
Absolutely.
Because he is just so light years ahead of other people that age, at least how you and I were at that age.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have Giovanni on later on in the podcast. And I really want the world to know his story. I fell in love with this kid through social media, his story and his positivity. I first became aware of Giovanni. There was a video of him meeting Carson Wentz, who was then the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the video was such a pure moment, such an inspirational moment. And then they go on to have this friendship that, is forever, I believe. It would be like if I somehow became friends with Eddie Van Halen, and then which is kind of why I'm wearing the Van Halen, the Blue Meanie Van Halen inspired T-shirt that you can get at prowrestlingtees.com/mindofthemeanie. But yeah, dude, if like I became friends with Eddie Van Halen, and he just casually tweeted to me or shared stuff with me, but the kid's Giovanni's an inspiration. A lot of people can learn from. You know what I'm saying? Just when you think you have a bad day, just go look at Giovanni's feed and you'll instantly be happy. So
yeah, so we're excited. We'll have him on a little bit. We'll hang out here for a bit, and then we'll throw to a commercial, and then we'll come back with Giovanni. But so that's the point you want to skip to if you're only here for Giovanni. Hopefully, listen, he has a bigger audience than we do. I'm not ashamed to say that. He has a bigger audience, so he is drawing numbers on this episode. So no pressure, Meanie, but let's give him our best. No, but here at the Mind of the Meanie, things that we like to talk about are, as I said, wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge. So let's start with some useless knowledge. What's going on in your life? What's happening? Anything exciting? You get a vaccine yet? That would be fun for you. Get an appointment?
No.
Okay, because I think Philly's at like 1C now or something. Why can't you get an appointment?
Brother, it's funny. Everybody who I sent the link to get registered to get vaccinated has been vaccinated.
I don't mean to be a pain in the ass. Is there a chance that you got so excited to send everyone the link that you forgot to sign up yourself? Because it's the only thing that makes any sense here.
Dude, I literally signed at like every spot you can register.
Now, can you just, maybe at like a 12 a.m. start going on like CVS and like places, Rite Aids and places like that? They say like after midnight, it's sometimes a good... maybe we'll do that. Maybe you can start searching while we're doing a WrestleMania recap over the weekend.
Dude, it's like, I tried CVS, I tried Walgreens or whatever, each one. And they're like, oh, well, you're not qualified or whatever.
How are you not qualified though? And also start lying.
Yeah, I know. Most of them, the main site, I did with the government, the state of Pennsylvania. They ask you all the other things like, are you a smoker or obese? Well, I'm like, yeah, I'm obese. I take a bite of a sandwich as I hit, yes, I'm obese. But then, like, the other sites don't ask you that questions. Are you a healthcare worker? Are you 65? No. I'm not a healthcare.
To be like, no, I'm just an average guy who had a part of his lung removed but grew up extremely asthmatic. Like, I'm sorry, you're a first in line type of person. I don't mean that in a negative way. But it's time to just start. Yeah, are you 65? Yeah. I just look great for 65. That's,
The girl at ShopRite who asked me if I'm eligible for the senior discount thinks I'm 65. So
wow, what an asshole.
Yeah.
That's
No, I'm the asshole because I go, no, I'm not 65, and I don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I should just next time I'm just going, yeah, I'm 65. Give me my 10%.
Travis says I'd happily watch Meanie get vaccinated on Meanie Mania. I don't know who's bringing this vaccine to Meanie's house.
Somebody runs in with a vaccine in a vaccine in a bank briefcase.
Or they're just coming in and just be like, hey, Meanie, I got a needle. You want me to stick you with this? It's a vaccine.
I saw a meme. I probably shouldn't laugh at this, but there's a meme. It's a photo of just a random hypodermic on the ground. They're like, hey, look, I found a free vaccine today. It's just like, oh, no.
That's all you got to do. Go down the shore. I'm sure you can walk that beach and find a couple of quote-unquote vaccines lying around.
Give me that vaccine, you seagull. You see a seagull walking down the beach with a vaccine needle.
Hey, so we talked about Meanie Mania, our WrestleMania post-show extravaganza. Well, if you're listening to this on a Monday, it was yesterday and the day before. But here's the thing.
On time.
But it's evergreen because unlike when we do like a watch along and you're like, maybe I missed it. I already watched it. I don't want to watch it back while listening to them talk about it. This is a post-show extravaganza, which means we're going to be recapping what we saw and talking about what we saw. So if you're hearing this on Monday and didn't get a chance to stay up until 3 a.m. or whatever the hell it's going to be for WrestleMania, tune in on FITE or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Mind of the Meanie, or on our YouTube, youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie, because we're doing a simulcast. So it'll be anywhere you want to watch it. Definitely go check that out because we'll have for night 1 and for night 2. And they're also going to feature Mrs. Meanie's favorite wrestling gear of the night, her top 5. So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. I'll tell you, RJ City's doing something for WWE because, whatever.
Yeah.
But RJ City was like, yeah, mine comes on at midnight. And I was like, what? I don't want to do that. And then I look on FITE and they have us listed at 11:59 p.m. And I'm like, what? Why is this show going so long? It starts at 7 o'clock and it's split over 2 nights. So I think we're probably going to go on the air closer to 11 than 12.
Yeah.
And I think our goal is an hour.
Hopefully.
An hour post-show.
An hour of nonsense?
Yeah. And we'll just have, notes. We'll go over the whole card, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and again, it's evergreen. So, maybe not evergreen, but it's at least this week, It'll
be the most topical thing we do.
Yeah, seriously.
We'll be talking about something that, just happened, literally just happened. So, yeah it just... it'll be interesting to see time-wise. Like you said, split over 2 nights. I'm trying to think of how last year's went.
Late, I think.
Yeah, it went late.
No, maybe not. Well, last year was such a...
Yeah.
That was a different story. And that was that's the other thing. Last year was not live. The entire thing was pre-taped. All the matches, everything was pre-taped. So those were cut down to,
and now you have the surprise element of being live in front of fans. Mm-hmm. So they really there's a good chance they'll probably stretch it out. So
have you seen the stage setup?
Yeah, last night I watched Corey Graves and Kayla.
Not gonna work here anymore. No, that's a. She's. I think her job's safe. That was an Office Space joke.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I saw them unveil the stage, the explosions and stuff like they do every year on.
It was awesome.
The social media feed. Yeah, it's very cool.
Now, I mean, I personally, not to toot my own horn, but as Arn Anderson would say, toot toot. I had the honor of introducing the Bash at the Beach AEW stage to social media. That was something that, and it was a lot of fun because it went from my being like, hey, can we do anything? They're like, yeah, just don't take any videos near the stage. Don't take any videos near the stage. And then the same guy who's saying that to me comes up to me and goes, hey, if you want to go up and kind of do like an introduction of the stage and put it on social media. And I was like, oh, okay. So it went from like, don't take any videos where the stage is in your background to, hey, you want to just go up and stand on the stage and do these videos? So,
wrestling.
Yeah. But, so I've always been a mark for those types of things, for the sets, for the state, like, yeah, I would always, like, that was one of the things I look forward to the most. And I'm not alone in that. Otherwise, they wouldn't put so much effort into it, you know?
Absolutely.
But it was the first, I tweeted this out over at So Says Shernoff on Twitter. I tweeted it out that this was seeing that video of the set and the whole stadium was the first part of this week that felt like it was WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some badass takeover matches and stuff, and like, you know, I'm not saying anything's been weak, but it hasn't had that same feel. The Hall of Fame. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Did you get a chance to see the Hall of Fame yet?
I did watch the Hall of Fame.
What were your thoughts?
It was good for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Just this whole, until the world opens up, I'm giving everybody a mulligan. A do-over.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, you got to be fair about it.
But it sucks because who doesn't get a do-over? These guys, except for, I guess, like X-Pac. He'll be back in the Hall of Fame again for a third time. But yeah. But I just, like Molly Holly's out there, and there's this part of me that's just like, man, like I wish she would have been able to do that in front of people. Kane
absolutely
is another one, like I wish he would have been able to give that speech in front of people. Like I look at JBL, and you know why it doesn't bother me as much? Because I'm pretty sure JBL and Ron Simmons are going to find themselves in the Hall of Fame one day as the APA. I'd be surprised if they didn't do that.
Right.
But also JBL, for those who didn't tune in, JBL apologized to Meanie for any wrongdoings, and I think they then cut that out of Peacock because they're like, Blue Meanie, what's he? And they're like, ECW, and they're like, shit, no, we can't have any ECW on Peacock. So you guys will miss that, but it happened, and it was nice of JBL, though, because he talked about you as like an inspiration as a wrestler when he was growing up and stuff. They used to watch you and like Fez. It was like a whole, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. I need some seltzer. Can I open up my seltzer?
I'm begging you. I'm begging.
Because I am I'm sweating like a. So, what kind of seltzer do you have today?
Of course, I have our friends at Ugly, and I got cherry because that seems to be the winner for me.
So I got the old pimple mouse, as they say, pamplemousse, LaCroix, and here's why. Because Ugly is so damn good that I drank all of them. And but I am pleased to announce that that they're sending more. They're continuing to be a sponsor of our show. They're kind enough to continue to provide us with drinks. And so even though I'm drinking a different a seltzer, which was actually given to me by some friends who were in our bubble before we had one final little Easter get together with our friends in our bubble, and before one of them's having a baby, and then we also were sending our daughter back to school, so we were like, well, that's it, for the bubble here until everybody's vaccinated. And we're having a little conversation about Ugly. I asked if they'd ever had that. I'm like, yeah, we got this amazing sponsor on the show. And I'm like, unfortunately, though, I drank all of them. And they're like, oh, so you really like seltzer? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, we bought this, and they're like, we don't really know what this flavor is, and I don't know that we're even going to try it. So do you want to take it? And I'm like, yeah. So thank you to my good friends, Donnie and Bev. I'm sorry, that's not their names. But
they'll appreciate you thinking of them, though.
Yeah. But no, so they sent this over. So I'm gonna crack this open, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it, but not the same.
But not as much as Ugly.
No.
Yeah. Look at that beautiful can.
Yeah, man.
Three.
Looking at both of them.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh, it hurts so good. So
Smells excellent.
Smells all right.
By the way, I'm going to get all my swears out now because I don't want to swear in front of Giovanni.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go.
What's George Carlin's Yep.
Sucker, fart, turd, and
yes. Nailed it.
piss, sucker, mother, fart, turd, and
the fun thing is that Giovanni's probably going to tune into this episode, just be like, hey, I'd love to hear myself on this show. He's going to tell all of his 13-year-old friends, all of his people that he's so damn positive to. And he's going to say, check out Mind of the Meanie. These guys are great. They're fun. They're sweet. They say things like phooey and whatnot.
Yeah, a little peek by inside bit. So maybe we should just censor ourselves for the first time.
Yeah, maybe. I think we're gonna
like my Carson Wentz rant.
Little time stampage over here.
Little production meeting on the air.
We're gonna just put it right here at 1 hour and 1 minute. The Blue Meanie said the 5. Okay.
You should put emojis for the things I say. You don't hear them, but you see them.
I don't think that helps any. Once we get to some of those later ones.
Yeah, but it's a great rib. Oh, speaking of, I just had a thought.
Maybe we can do the poop emoji over turd. We can say turd.
Yeah.
Turd's fine. We don't have to beep out turd.
No.
How many times are we allowed to say turd before it's...
I don't know.
Right.
But that would be funny. It's just like beep, 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 turd. Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to say this so it's recorded. I don't forget. A little on-air production meeting. Mm-hmm. But you know how we've always wanted our own seltzer, Blue Meanie, Mind of the Meanie. Mm-hmm. We should get Mind of the Meanie seltzer koozies. So when you're drinking a seltzer, you put the koozie over the can.
Ooh!
Every seltzer is a Mind of the Meanie seltzer.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I actually looked into those a long time ago. I'm gonna have to see if maybe those are things we could do for Patreon, or we might end up having to get a. Well, everybody sound off. Let us know on social media at Mind of the Meanie. Would you buy one of those? Because that seems like it's going to be a minimum order, blah, 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 whatever. But you know what? Hey, if they don't all sell out, it's something that we can bring with us to live shows. By the way, we're booked, Terry, for the little spit take. We're booked for our first event. It's going to be August 7th. But we're not
should be
announce
vaccinated by then. So
yeah. We're not going to talk about it yet because we haven't. We don't have the entire schedule down. But I will say, if you're in New York, and we're talking northern New York, we're talking by the where? I want to
Canada, maybe
not too far from Canada. But if you're up in that area, hold August 7th. We'll have more information soon. Devin Miller says, Jack Gray says, I would totally buy a koozie. Devin Miller says, how about some giveaways? Giveaways, that's the best way for us to recoup our money. Hey, but you know a great way that you can get your money's worth? By drinking Ugly. So let me tell you a little bit about Ugly. Ugly was created to be a refreshingly honest, sparkling water with no sugar, no sweeteners, and no calories. And beyond quenching your thirst, they aim to celebrate the real, the raw, the imperfect, the ugly truth. Their flavors are designed to be punchy and nostalgic, and that's the way that I describe Meanie. And a genuine soda replacement for those wishing to ditch the sugar and sweeteners. So definitely check them out. Ugly Drinks. They're awesome. It says right on the can. What's their website? Well, I take a sip of my less than.
You're putting me on the spot, Shernoff.
All right, it's uglydrinks.com. But they've got here's another thing I got to tell you. You know, we talk about Giovanni on here, how he's like a positive dude and just like makes everything so happy. I don't know why. I love the Ugly website. It is so fun. Like, it is more fun than a seltzer website should ever be.
Yeah. Just, I love the logo. No bullshit. Yeah. You know, and I popped, last week we went out to go grocery shopping at the local Acme, as we say in South Philly.
The old Acme.
To normal people, it's Acme. To people in South Philly, Acme.
To the Roadrunner, it's a lawsuit because that shit should have worked.
Yeah. But, dude, they had Ugly in the supermarket. So
that's amazing.
I know for future reference, if I ever run out, I can actually run down down to the local Acme and get it. But dude, they're such a great website. Great marketing. Get ugly truth,
and
all those great hashtags.
I want to tell you something else though that I found on their website that is pretty cool. It says, "Be the refreshing change you want to see." By the way, the U is a tongue on there. Every can sold helps flip the script on some of the ugly truths out there, like global gender inequality and plastic pollution. We partner with Girl Up and Oceanic Global to drive positive change. How cool is that?
That's awesome, man. So not only are you, enjoying a refreshing drink, you're actually, sponsoring a great cause as well.
2 great causes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they just keep getting better. And let's not forget, we've got ugly drinks. I don't know how our folks do it over there. uglydrinks.co.uk. If you want to get some ugly drinks over in the UK. That
was the cool thing. That was the cool thing. I was talking about Ugly on Twitter, and somebody was like, man, I wish we could have this over in the UK. I was like, aha, they have an Ugly UK Twitter handle.
Yep.
So you could definitely get these over in the UK, and the more the merrier, man. These drinks are great. Like I said, I love the fizz of soda, but I don't love what soda does to me. I drink soda, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I just want to with that sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to scrape my teeth. I just want to just I feel lethargic. I just want the fizz, but these Ugly drinks, they give you the fizz. They taste great, and I keep saying it. I'm not making it. They smell awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it smells like cherry, and it tastes like cherry. It doesn't taste like cherry flavoring. You know what I'm saying?
That is a great point, because if you're a soda drinker, cherry flavoring is not cherry. They're 2 different things. I remember the first time I saw one of those machines where it's like they had them at the movies or some places will have them where you can fill up right the soda machine and it's like, you want Coke Zero? Great. Here are your options. Coke Zero Cherry, Coke Zero Vanilla, Coke Zero, pepper, I don't know, whatever. And you can hit all these things and it just comes and it mixes. Basically, you're getting your Coke Zero and then they're mixing in based on whatever you hit. They're mixing in the sweetener. But man, just like over time, you're just like, all right, that's like a lot. That's really not, it's not refreshing. And ugly is refreshing. And listen, I'm not shooting on LaCroix. They're good. They're good.
All right.
They're good. But as Booker T would say, ugly is good.
Never in my life that I would think we can work Booker T into a seltzer ad.
Yeah. Hey, I could, trust me, I can do it. I can dig ugly, sucker.
I drank these things 5 times a day.
Oh man. Like when I went and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have any left. I'm like, tell me I did not just see an empty refrigerator. We can work Booker T. Booker T is a marketable fellow. We can work him into anything.
Absolutely. Well, that's hence why, Bad Bunny wrote a song about him. I mean, come on.
Bad Bunny. Excited to see Bad Bunny.
What's
funny? I really wasn't into the idea of Bad Bunny. And then WWE did this great marketing thing. It was crazy. Right. They were like, some people aren't really getting behind Bad Bunny being involved in this stuff. They're like, you know what we should do? We should have Dave Meltzer be incredibly racist. And then people will just be like, nope, I support Bad Bunny now. So yeah.
Bad take, Dave.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna repeat what he said. F it.
No.
Like I said, we're trying to keep this episode positive. But,
yeah, so I guess I should beep out that F it right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's good, man. I don't have 30 shows to produce live and pre-taped for Fight coming up this week. It's fine. I'll just spend my free time. I'll just tell my kids, be like, hey, Daddy's not going to be able to see you for a couple days. Meanie went on a swear rant.
Sorry, Daddy's got a FITE TV crossword puzzle show to produce or whatever they got you doing over there.
First of all, it's Scrabble, and you know that. So, no, I've been very lucky. FITE has kept me very, very busy lately.
I'm a big fan of FITE TV.
Yeah, FITE is
They give
great.
us this platform every week. I'm just joshing, FITE. I'm just joshing.
So am I.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oof.
Oof.
I'm going to swore again. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh, my God. I keep forgetting. I wish I would have looked into this before, but our good friend at Rhodes, Road, not Rhodes, baby. Road.
Cody?
The fine folks who we record with each and every week. Road has done an update where they added a swear button, and I have yet to. I did the firmware update, but I don't know how to activate the swear button. It would have been perfect for the show.
Just beep yourself.
Yeah, because I could literally hit it, and it will, unmute me. It'll mute me and put the beep in. But,
what if I mute? Does this work too? No.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. What the?
Okay, I can fix that in post.
Yeah.
So, but no, we have a great friend of the show, Jason Turnbull. There we go. Who really helped us out with learning all about Rode and with being able to work with them to get this great equipment and
Absolutely.
Yeah, just very cool that they now have this new update. So I was going to do this update as well, but then I got nervous about it because I saw a thing that was like, now listen, this is beta software. So sometimes there can be little bugs here and there. And I'm like, I probably should wait until after our 2 nights of live simulcasting for on FITE. Maybe I'll wait a little bit before I do something that's going to screw up my whole Roadcaster. But it's also cool because I should be able to. Meanie sent me a video that like a guy pretty much hacked how to use the buttons on here as like a switch. So like I would be able to switch between different different
camera
pages.
angles.
Yeah, camera angles, different pages. Like right now, I mean, I can do it by just being, just clicking on the screen, using the mouse and stuff. But God, would it be so much easier if I could just hit one little button, Yeah. The same way, it's just like right there. Now you've got a new screen. Right there. It's a new screen.
Let's go to Meanie. Oh man, the Walmart fart never gets old. But you're talking about the fine fellow who created that hack. I gotta give him a shout out, Tom Buck from the Enthusiasm Project over there on YouTube. He gave us a little shout out on his latest live stream. Tom Buck does a lot of great stuff, and he's the reason why I even wanted to look into the Roadcaster. And he teaches stuff about streaming and stuff like that on his YouTube channel. He actually quit his job as a teacher to go full-time YouTube. So I was watching one of his live streams, and I wanted to ask, some questions. Yeah. And, like when you and I first started doing this podcast, we're like, people are like, oh, you just got to do an hour, man. Stick to an hour. And we're like, we'll show you.
Yeah. Stick to an hour. That's the intro.
Yeah, that's the intro. Like our first couple episodes were long. I mean, like pack a lunch.
Yep.
And so I asked him, I was like, hey man, on the live stream, I was like, look, people tell us, when we first started doing our podcast, we should stick to an hour. But we go about 2 hours, 2 hours 15. What do you think? What do you prefer? And this guy who does his living is teaching and broadcasting and, streaming and all that stuff. He's like, hey, as long as the content's organic, I don't mind a longer podcast. It's just when you get to those, singular topics or, formulaic shows where it's the same thing, it can kind of get monotonous. But like, I like to think of our show as organic. That's the only.
I like to think of it as something that sounds like organic, but Giovanni's friends might be listening. So,
yeah. So we're homogenized this week.
Watch your mouth. Hey, I do want to just say some people are asking, they want to kind of mark their calendars and whatnot. So I'm gonna give you this information, and eventually, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to announce the actual event that Meanie and I are going to be a part of. You will not find it yet because it's not. I mean, it's our event, really. It is not a live show, although, we'll be doing our show from there, I believe. Yes. But it is Port Henry, New York. So Google Maps that, or, MapQuest or whatever it is that you do. Is MapQuest still a thing?
Get your AAA triptych ready.
Yeah.
That's how I went to Al school.
Unfold your, anyway.
Dude, the kids today will never know the joy of drive. They go, oh, don't text and drive. Have you ever mapped and drive? What, driving with the map on your steering wheel and
then you put the window down and the whole map opens up and now you can't see anything. I remember I took it in 2002. Took a trip to Canada. It was the Talking with Friends group. It was me, Fred, Matt, Calvin, and one more friend, and we went to Canada, and Fred printed out just booklets of MapQuest, because that was like back in the day, like, because it wasn't just like, on the map, like we had a whole itinerary of where we were going to. We'd be in Toronto, we'd be in Montreal. There were like different, in different spots we were going to hit. So we had these massive books here that we will end up talking about. either next episode or the one after that on Talking with Friends, we'll be getting to that timetable, and it actually played a very important role in that part of our career. So we will talk about that, but I do want to take that opportunity to plug Talking with Friends. A new episode is available now at Mind of the Meanie's YouTube page, youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie. It's episode 3 titled, what was it titled? Titled, It Was the Mest of Times. So we talk about meeting Mark Mest, which was an experience, and I'm sure next time we'll get in even more detail, as they say. But Mark Mest was a great guy and a great character. So some fun stories there. And the best part is,
he's a staple of the Northeast Indies.
Mm-hmm. And the best part is I've been digging through some of my old videotapes, and I've been transferring them onto. I've been digitizing them. So this episode has a ton of footage. Unfortunately, the one bit of footage it doesn't have was there's a story of Mark Mest and his whole crew on the stage that Fred built, and just basically as that stage protested beneath them, and it was but it held, and unfortunately I could only find, we had 2 cameras, and I could only find the one camera angle that was focused at that time on the people in the ring, and there was the other camera that was focused on the entranceway, and I couldn't find it. But yeah, we did. But much like with Mind of the Meanie, where we like realized afterwards, like, oh, we forgot to talk about this, forgot to talk about that. We forgot some things, so we decided we're all making kind of notes now. So from now on, starting with our 4th episode, we're gonna have like a 10-minute like recap of like what we forgot. And because one of the things we forgot is we touched base on a show and totally forgot to mention the fact that Joel Gertner was on that show. So
that's amazing.
So next time we're gonna kick it off with talking all about Joel being a part of it. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. It's about an hour and a half. And I always say, check out the video. The audio, I know the audio dropped late last night as we're recording this. It's late Friday night, so it's on there. If you subscribe to Mind of the Meanie, you'll get the audio. But it's worth checking out the video because there are some fun bits of footage. And the nice thing about the video is we're telling these stories about people you've never heard of sometimes, and and we're like, oh, we were younger, and I looked like this. And I think it's so much easier than you're caught up. We say Mark Mest and his group of people, like Risky Business Ronnie Reigns and people like that, and you're all like, all right, but I don't know what this is. Well, now there's video footage, so you can go, okay, now you can put a face to any of the stories we're telling, and now you kind of get it, Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, that was my cheap plug for that.
No, dude, that show is fun. And watch it just for Calvin Tan's sweet setup, man.
Man, he's got some there, or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Boku, I think.
Timestamp,
son of a...
Timestamp.
Damn it.
I think we found the name of the episode.
Timestamp.
Timestamp. Yeah, dude, seriously. You and the crew over there at Talking with Friends have upped their lighting game, so to speak.
Yeah,
as well.
Still working on it, and that's all thanks to you. Honestly, when we were doing the show, and you're like, "Hey, so I think I got some cool lights to kind of put. I'm gonna try something," and I was just like, "Well, damn, I can't look terrible. I need lights," And then, so that starts, and then Calvin's like, yeah, I'm putting my thing together. And I'm like, well, dude, you should get these lights. So then it was just me and him. And then Mangle's like, well, I think I need lights too. And then Fred was like, yeah, I'm going to need to get some lights. And now Mangle got a new microphone.
Nice.
That was relatively cheap. We're going to send that on over to our good friend Joel Gertner. Hey, by the way, this month is disappearing, and we haven't.
Where is it going?
We haven't recorded. That was extreme, or come up with topics, or done anything like that. So by the time you're hearing this, there might be topics listed on ad-free shows.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun feedback. We just did the the Zoom call over there for Conrad's crew.
That was a blast. Yeah.
And the cool thing about Conrad's crew is that, we've cross-pollinated. Some of their Patreon folks are part of our Patreon.
Yeah.
So, like I said...
what my goal is to have all of their Patreon folks as part of our Patreon. That, and then we retire.
Yeah. Just give me Conrad's pocket change.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a bad back. I don't know if I want to carry that around.
No, seriously. I love Conrad. I love his crew. I love, like I said before, Mind and the Meanie is our planet, is our world. And, we have little satellites that float around, talking with friends. And, thankfully, we have a planet that was extreme, which you can listen to for free over at Ad Free Shows, that allows us to, cross pollinate, share a brand. Is So
Says Shernoff a satellite, or is that technically like in a different? Do we count that as like a different universe? Like, is it in How does that work? Since it started before Mind of the Meanie, is it a satellite, or is like So Says Shernoff like Mars, and Mind of the Meanie is Earth?
Yeah, we have a perfectly good planet here, but we're all sucking. Oh, I can't even say that.
Well, you definitely can't say the part you said right before the sucking. That's 41.
Timestamp.
Good Lord. Hey,
sorry,
Giovanni. I'm gonna put the timestamp of when your interview comes in. So just stop listening and skip to the next part, because I don't have the time to. Hey, you know what would be great? What's that?
We're scrubbing this like a teenager's Twitter feed when he's about to go into the draft or something like that.
Workforce. Here's what we're gonna do. I want you all to learn a little bit about some of the great T-shirts that we have over at ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. So go now, check out this commercial, and when we return, we are going to be joined by Giovanni, if for no other reason than so that after that, we can promote right now. After the interview with Giovanni, we will not be censoring anything. So if you are, and the episode's marked explicit, so parents, this is your responsibility to know what your kids are downloading. We're trying our best to help, but we're going to go to the ray of sunshine that is Giovanni, and then we will fall right back into the utter darkness that is traditional Mind of the Meanie. But hey, check out all the shirts we have over at ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Get your Mind of the Meanie shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. We have the Mind of the Meanie logo tee, the Mind of the Meanie badge, Meanie Toons, Meanie Burger, 3 seltzers deep, Meanie Gas, Wreck Every Bathroom and Leave, Meanie Screwing Up the YMCA, Alternative Commentary, Podcast Faces, and so much more. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie.
And welcome back to the Mind of the Meanie podcast. As you know, we usually don't do guests, only on special occasions, and this occasion is pretty special. Our guest right now is a fellow I come to know through the wonders of the internet. He's viral, as the kids say, and a very special person, very inspirational. And I'm so happy to have him here. Giovanni Hamilton. Hello, Gio.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
Welcome to the Mind of the Meanie.
So, oh no, sorry, I stepped all over your words, buddy. Like I said, this is going to be the most unprofessional thing you've ever done.
He was thanking you for having him, and you just stepped all over. No, we are so excited. When Meanie said, I think maybe we could get Giovanni on the show, and I was like, you think so? Really? Like, I was excited for this because obviously you and Meanie, you guys are best buds and been hanging for a long time now. But I've been watching your stuff. I see your stuff on social media. As somebody who does interviews, I am so impressed. There is no way at your age, and that's pretending that at my age now, I'm even on your level, but there is no way at 13, I was going, like, your interviews are really, really good. Meanie, I hope I didn't step on your toes now, but I kind of was just so excited to be able to finally talk to you. I wanted to ask, how do you put your questions together? Where do you come up with them? Do you have kind of your go-tos that you're always going to ask? Or you are such a student of the game, as they say, when it comes to Philly sports especially, but sports as a whole. How do you come up with the interview questions?
So me and my mom sit there for a good hour and a half, and we just research the person that I'm having on, and then we kind of think of questions from what we've researched, like where they went to college, how many years they've been doing what they're doing, just all that stuff. And then we usually ask like if they have any funny stories from what they've done. And that's probably the best part.
Yeah. That's awesome. The preparation to, a lot of people aren't willing to sit down for the length of a show, even just to prepare for the show. So that's awesome that you do that. Really impressed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Dude, you're killing it with the Sports Talk with Giovanni podcast, and I've been grateful to be a guest on your show twice so far. Yeah. And I was like, man, I feel bad. It's like Giovanni's had me on twice. Giovanni on mine at DeMeanie. And, you're a special kid, man. Definitely. Cause when I was 13, I wish I was that into sports. I was like into pro wrestling. You're watching Josh, Gio watches like the game films, like the game tapes and all that stuff. He studies it.
Unbelievable.
Gio, you said you wanted your goal is to be a coach in NFL. How do you feel? Like, are you preparing now with all the footage and game tape and all that stuff that you're watching now and establishing relationships through your podcast?
Yeah. After every game, I think it's usually the day after, I'll be watching all 22 while I'm doing schoolwork. And that really helps me know more about the game. And when it comes to relationships, that's a big thing. And I think my biggest relationship right now that I have is Coach Franklin at Penn State. I think that he can help me a lot in my future.
That's awesome. I just, again, I'm like, I don't want to just sound redundant here, but I'm so impressed with at 13 years old. Like I was at 13 years old, I was not thinking of like, what I need to be doing? I need to be networking to try and build my future so that I can secure my career when I grow up. Like you are so ahead of the curve on your future. And then the best part is you have all these people who are like, your goal is, in a way, what you do now is the goal for a lot of people when they finish doing what you want to do later. Like there's so many athletes and coaches that when they wrap it up, when their career is over, they go into podcasting. They say, okay, what's next? Well, I can talk about it. I've got this wealth of knowledge. You're coming in almost the opposite direction where you're this successful podcaster at 13 with this huge wealth of knowledge where I feel like it's just a couple of years before, if it hasn't happened already, coaches are going to be giving you a call saying like, hey, don't tell anybody, but Gio, can you, I'm trying to figure out what to do. We got a game coming up and, and you're going to be giving advice. And I'm just so impressed with everything that you've been able to do.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. And I want to say I have my morning coffee specifically because I knew you were going to be on in my my Eagles thermos here, which, by the way, is incredible. It keeps, this will be hot for hours, and we sometimes go on for hours on this show. So
we'll spare you the hours.
Yeah. What is
we know your time is precious. You're into band.
Yeah. What's your timetable usually for your podcast? How long do you usually go?
I usually go like with players 10, 15 minutes. I've gone, I think Meanie, ours was like an hour.
That feels right.
Yeah. Giovanni normally goes like a half hour, but I don't know when to shut up. So Giovanni's looking at me like, yo, Meanie, come on, man. Gotta wrap this up.
Doing the old pen.
Wrap it up. Yeah. But
oh no, Meanie, go ahead, please.
No, please.
No, I want to know, we talked a little bit about your preparation and everything and the success that you've had. For those who are watching or listening who aren't really that familiar with your story, how did you get it? They might be looking at it going, how did he start podcasting, and how is he getting players? Again, like at 13, like I was an enormous Bret Hart fan, as a wrestler. At 13, I was not getting Bret Hart on. I mean, they didn't have podcasts back in my day, but I wasn't getting Bret Hart on any phone call even. So, you want to tell kind of the story of how you got into podcasting? What made you decide that this was something you wanted to do? And how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so I think I started doing my Facebook and Twitter like 6 years ago, something like that. And then I just started building up like followers and stuff. And then I was like, hey, I think that if I did a podcast, it would be pretty cool. It would be a cool thing to do, a cool hobby, and it's a really cool thing to do in quarantine. That's the main reason why I started it. I needed a hobby because I was getting really bored. But yeah, and then me and my producer Connor, he also does his podcast. We were talking, and he said, "Hey, you can come on here with me, and we can do the podcast, and you can have your own podcast on here. I'll produce your show." And I was like, "That's a great idea." And then it went from there, and I think I've been doing it. I just started at the beginning of the season, so I think 5 months, 6 months.
Man,
that's amazing. I was fortunate enough to co-host with Giovanni. Your producer Connor reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want to talk about Eagles football?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." And he's like, "Giovanni's going to be involved." I was like, "Then absolutely," because I think we're kindred spirits in some ways. But yeah, we did Meanie's Eagles. God, I can't even think today.
Meanie's Eagles recap on Mondays.
He's got you, man.
I know. Yeah. I told you Giovanni way more purpose.
He's running the show here.
Yes.
Remember I talked about coaches calling him? I'm going to be calling him being like, "Listen, as a producer of a show, I need a little bit of help here."
Welcome to the last edition of Mine to DeMeanie. It'll be Mine to Giovanni. No, seriously though, it was fun, man. Doing that show week in and week out with you, and you and Connor and Ed would come in and join us. But man, what a season for us to to start a podcast together with the Philadelphia Eagles. But the one bright spot every week with talking about the Eagles was, being able to talk to you about it. And man, when I was 13, I was just like watching, wrestling, watching football, but like I had no idea how to watch it from a different perspective. And I think it's really cool that you do that. You bring you bring positivity to it. Being a Philly sports fan, this podcast is seen all over the world. We're the number 4 podcast in Ireland, by the way. So,
yes. I'm gonna have a T-shirt made.
Yeah. We have a listener in Nicaragua too. So,
Yeah.
Hello, Coach. Oh, he's a coach too, by the way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, that sounded like a joke, but it's actually true. So yeah, we
is.
have great guy.
I'm getting a little long-winded here. I apologize. You know, Giovanni's time's precious, but
we're trying to do a 15-minute podcast here, Meanie.
Yeah, I know. The point I'm trying to get to is Philly fans are known to be negative. You know, all the cliches, we booed Santa, we threw snowballs, whatever they want to make up about us. But Giovanni is the bright light amongst all the Eagles fans. You went viral recently, you know, with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, who plays for the Dallas Cowboys. For those outside the U.S. who don't know about American football, the Cowboys and Eagles is a heated rivalry, and Dak is the quarterback for the enemy. But Giovanni was the olive branch. He reached out and wished Dak well, and it just exploded the internet. How was that? How was that experience with just putting out a meaning of wellness to the enemy and then getting some love back?
I didn't even mean for that to go big. I just wanted to say, hey, I hope you're okay. Because I've been through a lot of medical battles and I know how the rehab is gonna be. So I was like, he's gonna be in rehab for like a year. And I just wanted to make a video and I was like, I hope you're doing okay. You're gonna get through it. I can't wait till you're at full health so we can go at it again. Yeah.
Your positivity is incredible, and that really is, like Meanie said, Philly sports fans. But and I know that you've seen this on Twitter, on social media. There's a lot of negativity, and social media can be a very toxic place. And there you come in, as this, bright green light. You come in there, and you're just like, hey, this one got traded to that team. Whatever. I'll put their jersey on because I love them, because they're great. Like, you're so positive, and it sounds maybe insincere, but like, I feel like I look at your posts and how can I have a bad day? Like, you're too happy for me to be able to complain about anything that I'm going to complain about. And it's inspiring. It's genuinely inspiring. And, you touched a little bit on, that you've had health issues and stuff. And man, you've gone through things that the biggest, toughest, grown, sports guy or, athlete, whatever, would have just taken them out. And you are not only positive, but you are one tough individual. And, don't ever let anyone tell you you're not, because you are. And I think even more so than the physical toughness of the things you've been through, the fact that you can go through physical pain and still be so positive just shows an emotional toughness and mental toughness. And dude, I'm serious. Honestly, I think you might be, I'm like your biggest fan now. I'm so happy to have you on here. You've put me in a good mood just by being on this show. Meanie normally puts me in just a terrible mood, but no, I'm kidding. But you put me in such a good mood, just by being here, man.
Thank you.
Hey, since you brought it up, to give some of our viewers background, I mean, you're 13. You've had 18 surgeries.
18, 19, I think. Yeah, it's one of those. I forgot.
If you can, just give our viewers a little background on what you've been going through, and then what's it like? What do you do mentally just to prepare yourself each time? Because this is where I've fallen in love with you as a human being. When I grew up, and my thing is nowhere near as tough as yours, but I grew up severe asthmatic. As a child, I spent every spring and every fall with the change of seasons in the hospital. The pollen in the air would make it hard for me to breathe. I was couldn't play sports. I couldn't play football. I was allergic to the grass. I was allergic to pets. I had to put a bubble over my bed, an oxygen tent. So I spent a lot of time in the hospital, but it was, for, to help me breathe and stuff like that. You're a warrior, man. You've had like all these surgeries. And like when I would do the woe is me, and stuff like that. But I see you smiling and laughing. You're like, piece of cake. Can you give our viewers like a glimpse into the background of everything you've had to go through?
Well, it is definitely really hard going through this stuff mentally. But you just gotta surround yourself with good people, because there's really no way to get around it. Because with my condition, I have dislocated elbows and a dislocated hip. And I had to have my right hip reconstructed. I had to go through a lot of rehab for that. That took a lot of time for me to be able to walk normally again. But yeah, I've had, I think, 7 or 8 eye surgeries because my muscles in my eyes are, they want to force my eyes closed. And if we didn't have those surgeries, I would have gone blind by now.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah. And yet here you are, man. You're just a beam of light. And like Josh said, I could be having my worst day and I see your Twitter feed and it just brings me happiness. You talk about surrounding yourself with the right people. Right now you have a new initiative on Twitter, Giovanni's Huddle. Bring us up to speed. Tell the world about that, because I think everybody should be following you for these inspirational messages that you're going to be doing on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I wanted to start the Giovanni Kindness Huddles. It's a initiative where I talk about cyberbullying and in-person bullying and how to deal with it and how to get better and like be good mentally. And I just really wanted to start this because I got cyberbullied a lot once I put on that Colts Carson Wentz jersey. But I didn't let it stop me. I still wear that jersey to this day. And I just want to let other kids know that it's okay to be yourself, and don't let anyone change you.
Dude, that's so awesome. For the folks watching outside America or country don't know, Giovanni has become, the best friend of NFL quarterback Carson Wentz. And, dude, you broke the news that, you brought it up. Carson Wentz, who was with the Philadelphia Eagles, was traded to the Indianapolis Colts. And everybody's like, oh, man, the Colts have a quarterback who has number 11, which is Carson's number. Everybody's like, what's Carson going to do? Mm-hmm. His number's taken. So here comes Giovanni, just casually on Twitter. Post a photo. Hey, Colts, thanks for this nice little jersey you sent me. This nice blue jersey with the number 2 on it. And then Giovanni broke the world like ESPN. Dude, Giovanni's been on ESPN more than anybody I know, more than anybody on this podcast, at least.
That's for sure.
No, but seriously, man, you broke the news. How hard was it to keep that secret? That like you were getting to break the news that Carson's got the new number.
I didn't know. They just sent me the jersey.
That's amazing.
They just sent me the jersey, so I was like, "Wow, I'm just gonna take a picture with this because it's Carson Wentz's jersey." I didn't even know, but then Carson was like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you got to break the news, and I wouldn't have anyone else break the news."
That's amazing.
I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know."
That's amazing.
That's even, you know what? And I think another cool thing is that speaks to the reputation you have, that they would send that to you with no concern of the fact of like, of having to tell you, keep this a secret. Don't do that. Like they looked and they said, hey, we're going to send it to him. If he tells people, that's wonderful. More people are going to know now. Like he's the best person to let people know about this change of number. So that's so cool, man. That's, for you, I've seen the video and I think most people by now, and if they haven't, you should really Google Giovanni and learn his whole story. But a lot of people were first introduced to you because of that video with Carson Wentz. So on that day, could you have ever imagined that you'd become so close with him?
No. I had no clue that I was even gonna meet him that day. I just went to training camp that day. I was like, hey, today I might get to meet my hero. And then he comes and he goes to my sister, because the way it was set up, there was a line going this way. And then, so I was here. My sister was over here. And then he goes to my sister. And then I just like start crying because I'm like, oh my God, my hero is right in front of me. And then he comes to me and gives me a hug. And it was awesome.
It's an incredible video. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see this video. It is, again, it's one of those things like you're as they say, bring a tear to a glass eye. It is just an emotional video in all of the best ways. And such a cool thing that it's gone from that to you now having a friendship with your hero, to you being able to announce, milestone moments of his career to the world. And that's just so cool. I know we've got our Patreon folks here, who we threw it up on the screen a little bit before, such an inspiration, a beam of awesomeness. It's everybody who comes in contact with you walks away with a smile. And what does that feel like to you? Because I know I'm not the first person who has said this to you, who's pointed out to you that, how positive you are and how you make everybody around you, just feel better. What does that mean to you? Like, that's a lot to have somebody tell you. Like, what does that mean to you to know that is the reputation you have?
It makes me want to be more positive, and spread the positivity on and make more people positive, because right now in the world, we're going through something that's hard enough. We don't need to be mean to each other.
Man, that's awesome, man. Dude, when I was your age, I kind of went through something similar. My favorite Philadelphia Eagle player was Reggie White. And, and later on with Brian Dawkins, they went on to other teams, and, people are like, oh, they left, you can't cheer them. And I say, that's a bunch of hooey. That's a bunch of crap. You can still be a fan of Carson and still be a fan of the Eagles. When Reggie White left, it devastated me. Devastated. I couldn't eat. It's like, oh man, how could they let him go? So, when Reggie wasn't playing the Eagles, I would cheer for Reggie as long as it didn't affect the Eagles. And, I see people get, that's the only standards in life I have, really. But yeah, man, you should be able to cheer for Carson and not get grief for it. You got grief for wearing the Travis Kelce jersey, which to me is ridiculous. Travis is the brother of Jason Kelce, who plays for the Eagles. When the Eagles were in the Super Bowl in 2017 into 18, Travis Kelce came to the link and cheered for the Eagles, cheered for his brother to win the Super Bowl. So it's only go ahead.
I love Travis Kelce because I went on Chris Long's podcast and he had Travis Kelce on, and Travis Kelce was really nice to me. So that's the main reason why I got his jersey.
And that's kind of what I feel like the world should be. At the end of the day, and I'm talking to two people right now who are two of the biggest sports fans I've ever known. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is still a game. Yeah, we have our teams, we have our pride. But, I mean, we might hate the Cowboys, but it's just like, you know, when you watch one of them go down with an injury so bad, I mean, these are just people. We're all just people, you know, like we might have our city rivalries and whatnot, but I think it's ridiculous that anybody would have an issue with you wearing a shirt of somebody who was nice to you. Like, that's how it should be. Someone was nice to you, so you go, oh, I like them. They were nice to me. I'll be nice to them. And it's like, it seems like such a simple thing. And it's incredible that a 13-year-old, and I mean that in the best way, that a 13-year-old gets that. Whereas so many adults, grown adults, do not get that. And so many people... They exit this world having never understood that. And it's, again, that's why we keep saying you're inspiration, but it really is inspiring. And the things that you've gone through, that you've come out of, the strength that you've shown is just, it's absolutely inspiring. But I do want to ask you something, because it's not just all about football with you, or even baseball or anything. You are a wrestling fan too, are you not?
Yes.
So, who is your current favorite wrestler?
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. So, I know Meanie is good friends with Drew, and I actually trained with Drew back in 2007, 2008. And when Drew, before he got his American driver's license, I used to drive him around to all of the shows and take him to the airport so he could get to when he first was on SmackDown. So Drew is a really good friend of mine too. And I'm glad I actually got to see him right before the world ended with this. It was already at a point where everybody was Purelling their hands, but didn't know how bad things were. But he came somewhere local and I got to hang out with him for a bit. Yeah. I know that Drew is inspired by you. Now, we're recording this on a Saturday, night one of WrestleMania. By the time people hear this who aren't on Patreon, it'll be Monday. But Drew McIntyre, is he going to be champion by the time people are hearing this?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I love the fact, you know, I'm a big fan, a big Drew McIntyre fan too, unapologetically. Mm-hmm. Sorry, first day with my new mouth. I can't speak. But yeah, and I love that, like, me and Gio text back and forth when Drew's on and stuff like that. But I shared your story with Drew, and he was very inspired by it, man. And you know, we were able to procure you a little message from Drew, and you know, that was so much fun to do, and to see your reaction to it and stuff like that. I know you're going to be rooting him on tonight, and well, actually, he might be night 2. I'm thinking, but
that's why Meanie and I are doing a post show for WrestleMania, because then it's easier to commentate on, because neither of us know we can't keep track. 2 nights, man, that's too much for us. We can't keep track. I know the whole card, but now you're asking me to know which order they come on. Come on, that's a little much. But no, it's yeah, he'll be one of these nights, one of these days now, he'll be wrestling, and I think he'll be taking that title back. And I know he sincerely wants to have that title when he eventually gets to meet you in person, because he wants to take a picture with you and that belt. So, which is, I mean, at this point for you, I mean, it's just just another huge star who's a fan of yours, you know? So it's nothing. And that's, you know what, and you're going to find that when you do eventually meet him. I'm sure you found this a lot of other people. You have these people that are your heroes, and they meet you. And has it been kind of weird to find out that you're kind of like a hero to these people that are your heroes?
Yeah. It was really cool, especially with going back to Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. It was really cool with him, because I actually did a Zoom with him, his brother, and his wife. And it was really cool, because, like, his wife was explaining to me that the videos that I made for him in this past season really helped them get through. And she was getting really emotional because I helped them because they were getting so much hate, and I just made them videos, and they really appreciated it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's why you're such an inspiration, because your intentions are so pure. When people grow up, they get a little bit curmudgeonly, they get a little grumpy, and the world's against them and stuff like that. And you bring me back to everything's gonna be okay, man. Just any day above ground's a good day. Any day you can put 2 feet on the floor and get ready for the day. That's a good day. That's a win. It's all about life is about small victories.
Yeah.
Open up your eyes. You won. You get in your chair. You won. You put in the green hair dye. You won. You do your podcast. You won. And dude, you're doing nothing but winning right now. And dude, man, it's such an inspiration. I know it sounds like we're blowing smoke, but it really is, man.
It's really true. Yeah.
Yeah. This whole apocalypse, the pandemic, people are stuck in their houses and people are scared and stuff like that. And then here you are. Hey guys, it's going to be okay. And you're like, you know what? It is going to be okay.
Yeah. You genuinely believe you when you say it. And that's a power that you have. And I don't know if I should even be telling you that you have that power over people, but people listen to you and believe you. And unlike a lot of people you'll see in this world, you get that there's a responsibility with that. And you just come out there and you're positive. Because every time you post a video, a ton of people. It's not like when I post a video and I get 3 likes and I'm like, man, we hit it big today. But you got a lot of people watching your videos, and it sounds like Meanie said, it sounds like we're blowing smoke and we're just making this up to make you feel good, but it's true. I know we're both just very inspired by you, and just appreciate you taking the time to bring some of that inspiration onto Mind of the Meanie as well. Because it's just for us to be able to share that, and to share that we have so many listeners that we really appreciate, so many listeners outside the U.S., as Meanie had mentioned earlier, who might not be familiar with American football or whatnot, who maybe weren't aware of your story. And I'm glad that we're able to help a little bit in spreading the word there as well. But where can people, and I'm not sending you can hang out as long as you want, but I'm just, where can people find you on social media? Because we've talked about it so much. I want to make sure people can actually go and watch you and listen to you.
I'm so bad at this. I always forget. I always forget my handle.
We found the fault. I'm just kidding, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think my handle is real SJS Giovanni.
Well, we'll make sure to put it on the screen anyway, so it'll definitely be there. We, for 50-something episodes, I have struggled with remembering Meanie's Pro Wrestling Tees handle. So don't, and I say the same thing every single week, so don't feel bad. It's been going on for a year. So yeah, it's, but are you the same social media handle throughout everything? Is it the same, or do you just have, so Twitter, Facebook, and all that stuff, it's all the same?
Yeah.
See, that's good. See, Meanie? Just keep it the same on everything.
You can remember things.
Yeah,
it's like every time we do a show, we try to do like a recap. Oh, well, mine and Meanie's in the can. And I had to text him. I'm like, what did we just talk about?
Yeah.
I don't know what we just talked about.
Which is why this episode's very easy. It's just on this week's episode of Mind of the Meanie, Meanie and Josh welcome, Giovanni. Yeah. And then that's just, so you're being here again. That's just made our job that much easier.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, like I tell our the Mind of the Meanie fans, we call them the Pod Squad. And with the Pod Squad, we say everybody's welcome. We're all inclusive. We try to do a show that's positive as well. And, just, we're not like really a wrestling podcast where we're like, talk radio, but like, it's so cool to, to spread your message, everybody has a backstory, and I think the world should know your backstory. And that's why it was so cool to bring you on. And like I said, you're welcome to come on anytime you want. Not only do you know your football, you know your wrestling as well. And like I said, Mind of the Meanies, our planet, but there's different satellites. We got different things, and we like to say that Giovanni's part of our world, so to speak. So I want to thank you for coming on, and spreading your message of positivity, and bringing a little bit of inspiration to our show that we could share with the world. And you're like a little brother, man. I love you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. This absolutely made my day, and I think we can say the same for everybody who was listening. So, ladies and gentlemen, Giovanni Hamilton.
Man, that was so cool. I'm glad we were able to have a segment with Giovanni. Like I said, and thank you to Giovanni Hamilton for joining us here on this week's Mind
seriously.
Meanie. Dude, like I said, I've done his podcast twice, been a guest on his show. I was like, man, I feel like such a heel. I haven't even said, hey, why don't you come and join our podcast? And it was cool to have him on.
The 15 timestamps that I have written down from the first segment of our show would be why you didn't ask him to come on the show. But
yeah,
I'm so glad that you did, though. I really am. What an awesome kid. And I've watched his things, and I've watched his videos, I've seen his tweets, and I've talked to you about him. But this is the first time I ever had an opportunity to interact with him.
Yeah.
And he is such a good kid. I just absolutely enjoyed talking. Like, that was the most enjoyable thing I think we've ever done on the show. Like, legitimately, I just felt positive. And I was like, this is a weird feeling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. What is this? This is a weird, happy feeling.
It's like every day's Christmas with Giovanni. You know that sense of happiness and joy you get, just a holiday spirit where you're just constantly happy during the holidays. That's every day for Giovanni. He could easily be angry and mad at the world and bitter, but dude, he just puts on a smile on his face, puts his glasses on, spikes up his green hair, and it's Giovanni, man. It's his positivity. And dude, like we were talking about the Hall of Fame next year. If I could, I
didn't want to say it during the interview, but you called him a warrior. You called him a warrior at one point, and it immediately popped in my head. They got to come back to Philly, because if WrestleMania comes to Philly and they don't put that kid, they don't give him a warrior award in Philly, what are they even doing with their lives? But I say next year do it in Texas.
Absolutely. And he'll be such a heel. He'll wear his Eagles gear, in Dallas Stadium.
That'd be amazing.
No, but seriously, as much as I want to, here I'm being thoughtful here. If I can somehow convince somebody at WWE, as I play with my BWO guitar pick,
nice.
I don't know why, but if I can convince anybody within earshot of WWE of putting Giovanni into the WWE Hall of Fame with the Warrior Award,
you have to,
just to get his family a trip, a trip anywhere. Giovanni has been, he's, with being high risk with his condition, he's been confined to his home. He's only seen his home, and he's only seen a hospital, and then he's only seen an emergency in an operating room. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we can somehow tell the story of Giovanni, get him a Warrior Award, and get his family a much needed vacation trip somewhere, even if it is to Texas, Cowboys country.
And here's the thing, and if you want Meanie to induct him, fine. If you want Meanie to just have a ticket, just to watch the Hall of Fame, that's fine. He'll do it.
We'll probably be there anyway, promoting.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be at WrestleCon.
Yeah, and if you want to throw Meanie in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, whatever. You know, Tatanka was in it once.
Yeah, I got the tattoo on my leg.
Yeah,
just I might have to talk to some folks.
Yeah,
about Giovanni. Just
no. All kidding aside, I mean that guy is he should be a shoo-in for an award like that. He deserves it because again, the award is not just for people with challenges, and of course the award's been for a lot of other things. It's been people who have this year, you had Titus O'Neil, who does an incredible amount of charitable work.
Absolutely.
We had God, who was the other one? I don't remember his name, but the employee of almost 51 years of WWE, who has done
he's basically the Winston Wolf of WWE.
Yeah, but I mean that so you have these, which honestly, him being a part of it is more of what Meanie had in Meanie. You guys look so similar. What Warrior had in mind, it was the gray hair. So threw me off. Well, what Warrior had in mind of it being these people, he really was thinking these people behind the scenes or the camera.
What Warrior wanted was the Jimmy Miranda award. Jimmy Miranda, who was a longtime WWE employee, who who I had the honor of interacting with in my time there before he passed away, and that was awesome when a lot of people within the WWE pop that the Warrior brought up Jimmy. And this is kind of going to Warrior's wishes with, presenting an award for the people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And Molly Holly touched on that a little bit with her acceptance speech because she
naming the whole crew there, yeah.
She named the whole crew, which I won't lie, man. I kind of got a little weepy there because there's a lot of people there behind the scenes who work for WWE year round. They don't get credit. So she, like I tell everybody in wrestling is important, from, Vince down to the people who tear the tickets. But that crew behind the scenes, they go above and beyond. Yeah.
I mean, it can't be overstated the amount that these people give to from a production standpoint and from the business standpoint. Just God, we try to. I mean, how difficult is it for us to try and get together to do that was extreme. Get our schedules together. So give an award to the person who's doing the scheduling of these shows. Like it's, there's a lot there. But then there's also the other side of the Warrior Award that kind of kicked off with Connor the Crusher.
Man.
And it's that spirit, that never quit spirit, and that's where Giovanni just kind of, that's a no question,
Yeah.
Never.
We got to start that campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never met anybody with that much positivity, let alone someone who has every right to have so much negativity because of the, like, if, we all have negativity. If there's ever anyone who deserved to just be given a break to say, like, all right, you can be a little pissed, that's him. And he's not. He's just a good dude, just thinking about other people.
Yeah.
And
the negative is so easy. It's such low-hanging fruit. To be able to put a smile on your face and be positive, it can be work, especially when you have that mountain of things against you.
Speaking of low-hanging fruit, the tough thing sometimes, and I just want to clarify.
Yes.
Giovanni and your friends, please stop watching the show now because we have a sponsor that we need to talk about.
Yes.
And that sponsor is manscaped.com. I'm going to say it loudly. So if Giovanni or any of his friends' parents are listening in the other room, we are about to do a promo for manscaped.com.
Earmuffs. Or blindfold. It's a visual thing too.
Yeah, I mean, we're not doing an on-air
demonstration,
but or are we? Because this is still an audio podcast. So, manscaped.com. You guys know them. You love them. You're hopefully using them. But let's talk a little bit about it. Support for Mine and the Meanie is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners. 20% off plus free shipping with the code meanie20 at manscaped.com. So Manscaped hooked us up. We talk about it all the time with a bunch of tools and formulations from their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. So let's talk a little bit about that. They have created the best ball hair trimmer, and I can't beat that out. So best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys, and I know that Meanie feels confident with his low-hanging fruit. So, in addition, this trimmer comes with an LED light. You can see it there if you're watching this. For a more precise shave, and it's waterproof to make your shower shave clean and easy. Don't use the same trimmer that you use on your face, on your balls. It's disgusting. It's filthy. It's filthy. Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside the brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. It includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. That's this right there. You already put deodorant on your armpits, or you should.
I dare you.
So you already put it on your armpits. Why not put it on the smelliest part of your body, your balls? Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, Meanie, I'm thankful for the Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking, and nobody needs sticking balls. It's terrible. And that chafe, we don't need that.
Yeah.
This is the time of year now, Meanie. We want to go for a walk. We want to be out in the hot sun. You don't want to smell. You don't want to stick. You don't want to chafe. You don't want any of that. So that's why you need to go to Manscaped. Now, Manscaped also threw in free gifts into their Perfect Package. Pair of high-performance Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day, and a travel shed bag to store all your grooming goodies. So trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code meanie20 at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. Get 20% off and free shipping with code meanie20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with using the code meanie20. Unlock your confidence. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Dude, I'll tell you.
Tell me.
I used some of the toner
Yeah?
and the deodorizer, and smell pretty good. They smell pretty good. We're getting into that point where it's going to be hot out. You're going to be outside doing stuff, and you're going to be sweating and stuff. And normally around this time of year, I joke, it's that cornstarch weather. You know, you got powdered the boys. But now, and then like you do the baby powder, you do the cornstarch, and now you got stuff all over the carpet and the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
With Manscaped, with the deodorizer, the toner and stuff like that, it eliminates all that mess. So
you talk about baby powder. You don't want your when you're with your baby tonight, you don't want them to powder and go running out of the ring to whatever.
Hey, hun, were you eating donuts? Powdered donuts.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, take a powder, like, get out of there, because it smells so bad. I wasn't saying you don't want them to have powder. That's horrible. That's I mean, you don't want that either.
Were you in catering? I'm stupid. But no, seriously, dude, the product's great. I think Mrs. Meanie's going to kidnap it.
For her head.
Yes. No, seriously, that shaver is amazing.
Yeah.
The precision, it's quiet.
Yeah.
You got a light on it. I also went to the Manscaped website and ordered the nose hair trimmer, and that's amazing because I'm getting to that age now. I'm getting to that. Guys, trim those hairs. So I don't want to look like Abe Vigoda over here. You know, I already got the eyebrows.
Got the eyebrows. Yeah.
Yeah. People, my eyebrows make me constant, like my resting face. For the folks who don't know who I am, my eyebrows make me look constantly mad. So I'm just like this. People go, you know, this is audio, but my resting face. People go, why are you mad? What, you okay? You upset? No, I'm fine. But
people are sitting there going, hey, have you heard the Mind of the Meanie? No, what's that? Oh, it's Abe Vigoda and Eugene Levy. They do a great show. You can watch them on FITE.
Yeah. Put us together, you got Wild Bull Curry with the eyebrows. Or Pampero Firpo. Al Snow's favorite wrestler. But yeah, man. Great products. And they do a lot of stuff for men's health.
Yes.
With cancer research and stuff like that. So, again, just like Uglies doing, worthwhile causes, Manscaped is doing worthwhile causes as well as far as men's health goes.
Yep. And both are focused on the ugliest areas of life.
I swear, balls are just like leftover elbow skin. It's just that little part of your elbow.
Man.
Yeah.
When people are just like, there'll be like the argument for like, I know we don't talk religion, but there's always that argument of like, okay, well, evolution or what's the other term? Like the, creation is like, go back and forth. And I look at it and I go, with all due respect to the idea that God created us.
Yes.
The balls look much more like an evolutionary failure.
Yeah, he rested on that day.
Yeah, then they look like God meticulously created someone. Like, it's like, well, you know what? We're going to take very important for reproduction and the most sensitive part of your body, and we're just going to kind of hang it there in a little coin purse. For you to sit on, for you to accidentally get punched by your kid. It doesn't make sense. The balls don't make sense.
No.
So I'm just saying, I don't want to say that I just proved evolution. But I mean,
God has a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, that's the other argument. If it's a God thing, then God has a sense of humor.
Look what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Men. This will be a rib.
Yeah.
Man, and I thought the only rib was the one he took out to create women. There it is.
You're right. And welcome to the last episode. There's somebody out there pointing their. Well, actually,
can we
shut up?
I want to do an entire episode where we just talk about religion, not in a legitimate way.
No.
But just strictly just religious-based jokes.
Yes.
I just want Garden of Eden jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any, but I just,
Oh my God.
There's something there with the snake and an apple, but I don't know.
Here's a corny one from back in the day. Yeah. Who was the first computer operator? This is an old joke, by the way. Yeah. It was Eve. She had an apple in one hand and a wang in the other.
Oh, Jesus.
Because there used to be a computer called Wang.
That aged well.
Yeah. Woo! Timestamp.
Oh, man. So
that's a joke you only get on Patreon because we'll cut that out of the show.
Yeah, that's staying in. But let's.
Now, as a kid, they used to have these books called Truly Tasteless Jokes, and there was like a video version. And they had like that joke, and that joke's from like 1984.
Can I, so we're nearing the end of our kitchen job upstairs. And I am losing my mind over here. Now, I don't know if my contractor listens to the show or not. But
the first or second one?
Well, this is the contract for, no, God, no. This is, but I'm having like an issue with contractors in general. And there's like this assumption that I know start to finish how this job goes. Like I've never, I'm glad I look like a guy who just runs around town remodeling kitchens, but I have no experience with this. And,
right.
Like we're opening up the cabinets to put stuff away now, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, we're all done. And so they're like, but we're not all done. We still have a ton of things to do. And we're like, but what does that even mean? So we go to put things away. We open up the cabinets open up into each other and like open up. We're like, this is going to destroy these cabinets in like 2 weeks. So I Google it and I find that there's a thing called restrictor clips that you put in to make it so that they don't go past the 90 degrees when the cabinet doors open.
Right.
So I had to message the guy like, hey, is this something you can do? And he's all like, yeah, you can put your stuff away. The restrictor clips aren't a problem. And then he's just like, keep in mind, we're not completely finished. Many things still need to be done. Just wanted you to be able to somewhat use the kitchen, which I appreciate. I do. Yeah. Except for the fact that he said we're done and they left and they took all their stuff away and sent people to clean. And they sent people to clean who did a terrible job. Because my wife is still cleaning the floors now. It's I don't know. I don't know. If I had to give them a star rating, no. It's so frustrating. And now you can't see it, but I've got on my wall here, they had to cut an access panel. So they cut an access panel, and you would have thought that this was something that, like, I'm sorry, is this an inconvenience to you? That you have to do this because the county is the township's making you do it. I don't want a freaking hole in my wall. But I will say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a picture of it so you can see it. And then I'm going to hold my phone up here. So this is now the access panel. Okay. And they framed it. They're like, yeah, we do. A lot of people put pictures. And I'm like, well, I'm not really going to put, like pictures. But then I realized, you know what I am going to put?
What's that?
When our action figures come.
Yeah.
They said they're like, we frame it so it looks like, it's a framed thing with like pictures, whatever. I'm going to make it look like our action figure. Like I'm going to put the little concept art in there. And I'm going to make it look like I made like a shadow box of our action figures. I'm going to have the mint on card figures just hanging right on there. I'll have the concept art. I might even print out like the 3D renderings, like to have that, like so every step of the way. And I'm going to put that up there. So that's going to be my access panel. When people actually walk in are going to think like, oh man, I don't know who's walking into my home office, but when people actually do, they will look at it and go, oh, that's pretty badass. That looks cool. Look at that great display. So I am going to make it work, but
it's a great conversation piece.
It really is, because I've been wanting to put my action figures somewhere, and I don't know where else I'm going to put them.
I got a few ideas.
Yeah? Oh.
No.
Put them in. Yeah. But you know what? Here they are. If you're watching this, which you should be watching as well on FITE, you should be downloading the audio and watching. That helps our numbers a lot. But, here's our action figures. So Meanie and I saw Cella Toys sent us a rough sample of the actual figures on mint on card with the bubble. Right now they're working on the bubble for it, and they sent us a picture of that. The figure's not completely done. Like, for instance, like the laces, the blue laces on Meanie, they said they're still going to be made. I did notice, there are definitely differences. The biggest difference, if I had to say, the biggest difference are the eyes, because these are hand painted. So, there's a lot more detail, I would say, to my eyes on this because they like really, whereas that one, it's, it's eyes. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm really excited. Like I'm sitting there nitpicking and trying to figure it out, but they just did an amazing job. They really have done such an amazing job. I'm excited for these, and I think we're going to have them in hand. I mean, God, May.
Hey,
maybe?
My birthday month. That'd be great. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you, indeed. But I do want to point out that Mattel just released images that they are bringing the retro figures back. Their version of we lost Meanie. My God. Okay.
And I'm paused.
I'll have to timestamp this. Son of a...
And I'm going to reconnect and rejoin. Connecting.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Dude, these timestamps are... I've got this whole thing written here with timestamps.
Dude, I'm hardwired, too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Vascular. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So Mattel they've decided to bring their retro figures back that look like the old school Hasbro figures. Well, when Mattel stopped the retro, other companies picked it up, like Cella Toys, Zombie Sailor Toys, picked it up with doing these incredible retro figures. And as far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier. I think it's fantastic because they just showed 3D renderings of a Roddy Piper, which looks to have a removable kilt, and he's just in his wrestling gear. And anyone who's a Hasbro collector knows the Roddy Piper figure was in a t-shirt and a kilt that was not removable. So I, as a kid, actually got an extra Sid Justice figure who had blue trunks, and I used a saw and cut that in half and cut the Roddy Piper in half and glued the Sid Justice bottom so that I had Piper in his blue trunks. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why didn't you just take the heads off and swap them? Because Sid was in way too good shape. I couldn't rationalize that being Piper. So so this is exciting. But the other one that really, really sparked my interest was Mean Gene Okerlund with removable microphone. I mean, it just straight up looks like they took my figure and were just like, oh, we'll do that. Do that. Just put Mean Gene's head on. And again, listen, there should be a Mean Gene. There should be a old school Vince McMahon with a microphone. I want a frickin' Todd Pettengill. I want a
Gorilla Monsoon.
I want a Gorilla Monsoon. I want a Bobby the Brain Heenan. And that's what I'm hoping that this is good. So while they absolutely looked at this and said, hey, that Cella Toys company is making some random announcer guy, let's beat that by making Mean Gene Okerlund. I get that. For me, I'm excited to have my figure standing next to a Mean Gene figure. This is amazing. What I want the WWE to do is I want them to dive deep into the 90s, the early 90s, that Hasbro era, and I want them to fill in all the gaps. Because if you look at LJN from before, the LJN figures had everyone. They had Mean Gene, they had Bobby Heenan, they had Vince McMahon, they had all of these people. They had something crazy that Hasbro has never had, that Cella Toys has never done, that Zombie Sailor Toys has not done, and Mattel has not done. In this Hasbro style retro figures, there has never been a woman.
Yeah.
Never been a female. And to me, top of the list for me, Meanie, is Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, absolutely.
I want a Miss Elizabeth that goes along with the original Hasbro Macho Man. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
So there, I mean, and I don't want the new guys. That's kind of cool, and I have a display and stuff, and it's neat. But the only one of the more recent that I liked was when they made the old school Gold Dust, because that was he came in like just at the tail end of them losing the license with, because like the last set had like the smoking guns and the 1, 2, 3 kid,
Right.
And, yeah. So, so I got a text message from one of our bosses over there at Ad Free Shows. All good things, but check it out. It's a text message from Conrad Thompson saying, "Where the hell is the poll for that was extreme? Are you guys leaving? What's happening?" No,
hey, man.
But yes, anyway, that distracted my little rant. But I'm excited. I'm excited for that, for these new figures, and I'm also excited. Who knows?
It's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, you don't know what you can get. Maybe you'll end up getting a Blue Meanie figure from Mattel as well. A Cella Toys Blue Meanie, a Mattel Blue Meanie. It could happen.
A BWO 3-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a good time to be a fan. I'm so excited for our figures. Can't wait for them to come out. And dude, there's a lot of things down the line we have going on that's going to be very cool.
We've got some fun, exciting stuff coming up, and some of it
for a podcast that's only been around for a podcast that's been around for a year. We got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, I will say this: one of the main reasons that we can't announce the event August 7th, although I want people to start, if we've got Pod Squad members who are like, I don't care where you do your first, meet and greet, I want to be there, which is awesome. Yeah. So I want to make sure they have the time to schedule that. But the event will be announced along with the announcement of the merchandise that goes along with the event. So we can't talk about that yet, but it's very exciting. Which reminds me, I actually have an email I need to send after we wrap up here.
Note to self.
I remember that. Yeah. But yeah.
Note to Shernoff.
Note to Shernoff. I'm going to make a note right now.
Sounds like a good segue into Ask Meanie Anything.
Let's do it. This is a fart. Yeah, this is Ask Meanie Anything.
It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something.
All right. Ask Meanie Anything. Let's see. My Twitter's blown up because I made a comment about the Velcro on championship belts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, who was it here? Let's see. It was Bobby Roode posted a photo of him and
Dolph Ziggler.
Him and Dolph Ziggler. And so I tweeted, I retweeted it, and I put, few things have ever looked worse than Velcro on a belt. Because the picture with Ziggler, I'll give you an idea. I'll hold this up here. Here's Bobby Roode with his belt. Now, whether you're a fan of that belt or not, there's the little snaps there. And if
the color.
If you move over, there's Ziggler with the giant strap of Velcro there. Now, listen, these belts are incredibly well crafted. Let's not forget that. They're incredibly well crafted.
From our friends at Wildcat Championship Belt.
Yes, but I'm just not a fan of the Velcro, which is not their call. But yeah. So, but Ask Meanie. Anybody on Patreon have an Ask Meanie that you want to do? You got anything you want to ask?
Now's the time.
No? All right. So Mark and Dryden says, who are on Josh and Meanie's Mount Rushmore of most well-known wrestlers, as in biggest household names, wrestlers that even non-wrestling fans know that they're wrestlers?
Of course, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
So I guess your Mount Rushmore is your top 4. Like, who do you think the most well-known? The Rock.
Yeah.
Because you got Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, but none of them have a hit sitcom about their lives on NBC right now,
which I'm enjoying.
Except for Andre, he's kind of in it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Andre. Well, okay. Back in my day, Andre was constantly on TV. He was in on The Greatest American Hero. He was on The $6 Million Man. He was doing he was on The Fall Guy. He was in the movie Mickey and Maude. He was in the movie Princess Bride.
Everybody knew Andre the Giant, and everybody knew he was a wrestler.
Absolutely. And dude, even to the fact that, the NFL tried to do a publicity stunt was saying he was being recruited by the Washington Redskins, and the Redskins were going to try to sign him to be a lineman in the NFL. So definitely, he blew up with the Andre the Giant as a posse sticker. Yep. He's part of America. He might be from France, but he's part of Americana.
Yes.
American pop culture, worldwide culture.
And I think sometimes people can, Hulk Hogan nowadays does not have the allure that he had back in the day. But right. Hulk Hogan back in the day, I mean, you knew he was he was the, it's like, oh, I'm a wrestling fan. Oh, is that with the Hulk Hogan guy? Like everyone knew who he was. He was on Sports Illustrated. He was on TV Guide. Everybody knew who Hulk. Easy for me to say. Hulk Hogan was. I think The Rock has to be on there too, and I'd have to say Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Because of the, thinking about pop culture, he was on MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch. And Stone Cold was a big part of pop culture.
Absolutely.
For that time period.
Like I said, I would go to sports events, and if somebody had a fight, they'd bust out Stone Cold's theme after the fight was over and stuff like that, which kind of kicked that whole trend off. I mean, nowadays you could watch a hockey game and you hear Kevin Owens' theme or, time to play the game. You hear that at football kickoffs, but Stone Cold kind of kicked that off to where people used his theme song, for certain events. Whether a sporting event or stuff like that. So definitely Stone Cold, definitely The Rock, Andre, for me, Andre, and Hulk Hogan, brother.
Yeah. And I think Macho Man could have Macho Man's one of those guys if you saw, I don't know that everybody knew who he was exactly, but you saw him, you knew he was a wrestler.
Well, he came to the forefront with, Slim Jim.
Slim Jim, yeah.
Yeah, which they kind of made reference to without saying Slim Jim in the latest Young Rock episode, which was pretty funny.
I'm actually behind. I haven't caught that yet.
Not too much of a spoiler, but the show's, this week's episode of Young Rock was excellent. The latest one. I won't go into it since you haven't watched it, or depending on who's listening when.
Yeah,
but I've really been enjoying that show on the Peacock network. So the Peacock is cooking.
So let's see what other.
You know what you call a female peacock?
Let's see what else we have here. Okay, ask. Here we go. Andy Slichter. Ask me, what's a bold prediction for WrestleMania, returns, title change, etc.? And this is a fun one because by the time people are listening to this, there's no takebacks. Yeah. Making a bold prediction, it either came true or didn't come true. So, Meanie, looking into the past, into the future, what is a bold prediction for WrestleMania?
I predict we'll have a run-in by Becky Lynch.
You saw her post?
I mean, she kind of dropped some hints.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's that bold. If I'm going off by,
here's what I think. She dropped hints of night one. I think we're going to see her night two.
Yeah. She swerve, bro. She swerved us, bro.
Well, I mean, look, everybody knows that Russo runs her Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I read that in the Observer.
Well, It could happen. It could not.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe.
Well, plans change.
Plans
You have
change.
You have to understand.
Well, she's Irish.
Hey,
so.
has he rated Meanie Toons yet or no? I haven't checked since I'm blocked. Okay.
No.
I'll have to check it out. You know what I'm looking forward to?
Get mine into Meanie blocked.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him in person one day.
Oh.
At like a Starcast or something.
Yeah, that'll be not awkward.
No, that will be me with my microphone and Calvin Tan nervously with a camera as I go up to him and go, "Hey, Dave Meltzer, Josh Shernoff from So Says Shernoff on FITE and Mind of the Meanie, wherever you listen to your podcast. Just wanted to know, where do you go to get sporting goods?" And he'll ask, why? And I'll say, well, I'm just wondering where you get the balls to say the things that you say, Dave Meltzer.
Dude. Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
There's a fun Twitter feed out there called Dave Meltzer Said What?
Yeah,
Or
it is
something
great.
like that. Oh. They just, point out things he says. And
Yeah.
yeah. Look, he's a pioneer. He kind of, he's been around. I owe my career to him because that's how I found out about, certain tryouts in wrestling schools. But at some point you become a parody, of yourself and or what a journalist is supposed to be. So.
And that's always been my issue from day one. You're not a journalist. No. Journalists are real. That's a real career.
Yeah.
To be a journalist, to be a sports journalist, to be an entertainment journalist. These are real things. But
he's kind of like a blogger.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing though. You're not if you work for the, the National Enquirer.
Which he did.
Did he?
He worked for, he had an article in one of those kind of trade papers or something like that. I don't want to say it was the Enquirer, but I know.
You heard it here. Meanie confirmed that Dave Meltzer created Bat Boy.
You know what I did create though?
Oh boy. Oh. God, I can't wait to get the
I sat down into it.
Taste it. I can't wait to get your files.
Yeah,
because it's always better quality when you send them over.
Dude, we got to start doing the show maybe late, like around 6:00, because that's when I do my best work, man.
How do you do it midnight? Because I think that's when we're doing a couple shows the next 2 nights.
Oh, I'll be ready.
Yeah, you thought Mania had some fireworks.
I hope to have some extra bandwidth on their.
Oh, jeez.
Oof, that's lingering.
Man, think about that. This is a simulcast, so we're going to be broadcasting on 3 different platforms all over the world, live. People will be able to,
multiple
hear your
platforms
gas.
to, shit myself.
Yep.
Giovanni's not listening anymore. I can say
no,
that.
he's not. Speaking of shitting yourself, LOL man 6. No, I'm just kidding. Why would I say that? This is somebody supporting our show. LOL man 642. If you could wrestle anyone past or present, who would it be and why?
Bobby Eaton.
I think we've talked about that before. Yeah.
Dude, look. Well, you ask me tomorrow, I might say somebody else. But there's so many different. Just Bobby, I want to take that leg drop, I've stolen certain things in my repertoire. Not that you could probably tell from Bobby Eaton, but there's things to be learned by watching Bobby Eaton wrestle that if you're in the business, you kind of want to borrow from. And he's somebody that a lot of people don't talk about. Hopefully they do retro figures of the Midnight Express or something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would love to see that.
At Chris WD 2009 Has the Blue Meanie ever worked outside of the wrestling business during the quiet times on the indies to pay the bills, or has he always worked in the wrestling industry? So I know you're always you're always working in the wrestling industry. Thank God for Pro Wrestling Tees during this this pandemic. But any fun jobs you had when you were younger?
Dude, when I was younger, oh my God, my first kind of real jobs. I worked in the Ocean One Mall in Atlantic City, which is right across from Caesars.
Yeah.
And
they redid the Ocean One Mall.
It's horrible now.
It's totally different thing, but I remember the old school Ocean One Mall.
Yeah, it was awesome then. It's garbage now. They try to make some high end bullshit.
It's some high end thing, and I'm like walking around. I'm like, listen, we're not high end people here. What are we doing? Give me something. At least they have the one thing they have is that candy store is incredible, and they got great restaurants in there. But other than that, I'm like looking. I'm like, oh, what's this? Oh, that's a cool looking shirt. Oh, it's $700. Nice. Right. You know what my budget is? I just lost everything I have across the street, across the boardwalk there at the casino. So now you're gonna tempt me with a $700 shirt that on my best day I wasn't going to buy. So anyway, sorry.
Meanwhile, you're gonna walk out and be accosted by 7 different people.
Yeah. That's what I want when I walk back to my car in the garage past the woman who's urinating in the parking lot. That's what true story, by the way, but that's what I want. I want to be wearing a nice $700 shirt, or maybe I can wear $2,000 shoes while I step over her urination.
Yeah. Yeah. But back in the day, I worked at the Ocean One Mall, and I worked for a company that had a couple different shops, so to speak. They had like the designer clones of perfumes, but I worked at the fortune teller booth, the genie booth. Where
really,
yeah, this is kind of where
were you the genie?
I wasn't a genie, but I was the resident bullshitter that talked people into putting their hand on a piece of glass for $1 and read your fortune. Wow. And you hit a button on it, there's like a little computer keyboard, and you hit the space bar, and it goes, the gypsy knows, or the genie knows, or whatever, and a little printout comes out, and you hand the people as like $1.
Can I ask you an honest question though?
Sure.
It's a two-parter. One, how do they fit the genie into the machine? And two, when you're not working, is the genie allowed out, or are they always in the machine?
That's proprietary information.
Can we talk off air? Do you mind?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, off air. Right. Yeah. Nobody's listening. So.
Okay. Nobody's listening on air.
Yeah. Touche. But I also did a thing where for $1, you give me the year you were born, and you give you a printout of everything that happened the year you were born. Cost of a loaf of bread, and that's kind of like where I got my training to be a professional wrestler. Yeah, to talk. You
were a carny at the Ocean One Mall.
I was a carny at the Ocean One Mall, where I talked people into giving me $1 to read their fortune. Or amazing. I felt less dirty, telling people what happened the year they were born.
Yeah. Because that's just cool. That's just knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Just knowledge. This is like pre-internet. So.
Yeah. Here's a question that comes to us from James Sorensen.
Yeah. What up, man?
Who usually wins in rock, paper, scissors between the two of you? So here's the thing, James. I don't know what you think our relationship is like, but Meanie and I have yet to find an opportunity to compete against each other in rock, paper, scissors. Until now. Meanie?
Yes.
Let's do it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And we're both paper. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I beat you. I'm the Rock. All right, so here's your answer, James Sorensen.
Useless knowledge. If you watch any match like where me and Nova were a tag team we used to always play rock paper, scissors to see who opens the match.
Mm-hmm.
And it was work.
I was going to say, it was always work. Did you ever cross him up? Like when like he was supposed to, you were supposed to start the match and you know what he's going to do. So you make it so you lose and then he has to start the match.
Nah. But like if, like say,
will you the next time you team with him?
Maybe. But you see us do the rock, paper, scissors, and whatever it is I do to win, and you see him go, lost again. Yeah. You know, that was always our inside joke. And we would always do a whoa, Bundy.
Yes. You know? Hey, RJ Krasinski asks, if you were a type of wood, what type of wood would you be and why? I mean, we obviously know. What's that?
My underwear would definitely be petrified. Wood. Petrified what I'm going to fucking do that day.
Oh, man. I was going to go with warped.
Waterlogged.
To the right? What? That's another thing, if I may, with the contractor. So our contractor built us a custom cabinet in what used to be our pantry. And we now have a new pantry, but we had our old pantry is this like weird shape. And they built us a custom cabinet in there. Looks great. Looks amazing.
Yes.
Except one of the doors is warped and doesn't close all the way. So I brought it up to him. And I kid you not, this is what he says to me. He says, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, when you're building something with real wood, that's, you know, that's what happens, you know, when you're building a custom. And yeah, some people really like that because it looks like it's a custom job. You know, a lot of people really like those imperfections and whatnot. Some people don't, but, you know, but most people really like that.
Was your contractor Dave Meltzer?
I'm looking at this. I'm going, listen, I can understand when you say like, oh, they like because it looks custom because you can see that it's not exactly, you know, exactly the same as it is on the other side because it was hand carved and all that. But I'm sorry, somebody builds a custom cabinet. Who likes to get a custom cabinet that doesn't close?
Right.
This isn't a conversation piece. Oh, watch yourself so you don't bump into that open cabinet. It's custom. Like this doesn't. Anyway. But yeah, so what would you be? What kind of wood would you be?
Petrified.
That's it?
Yeah. Wood. Was it
oak, maple, pine?
Whatever they make those
walnut?
fucking tables at. What do they make the ECW tables out of?
Compressed.
Compressed cork, whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
No mahogany for you?
A rich mahogany. As
Would
Ron
be a
Burgundy
softwood?
would say.
A Douglas fir? A white oak?
Cut my music.
A redwood?
Douglas. Yeah, a blue wood.
Hey, I'm glad you, by the way, I looked up wood. I know people are listening, but you can see anything. I looked up types of wood so I could, you know, a spruce. Spruce goose. A balsa tree.
A what?
A balsa tree. A blue balsa tree.
Okay. By Manscaped.
So, here's another question. What is your Jeffrey Mitchell writes, what is your go-to song at karaoke?
Ooh. Oh, anybody wants to hear me sing. That's a good question. Something sappy. Don't Cry Out Loud. Don't Cry Out Loud by Melissa Manchester.
Nailed it. Well, now we know what we're doing on the 100th episode.
Me punching you in the face.
Mark and Dryden asked,
punch, of course.
what do you two think about the Young Bucks saying they'll delete their Twitter account if anyone's comments are negative or toxic? So I didn't know that they said that. I thought they already deleted their Twitter account like a long time ago.
Well, I think that has to be more along the lines of them going with their new heel thing because they turned.
Nobody says that unless you're trying to get negative and toxic.
I think that was done as part of their new heel turn. Their semi-heel turn in AEW. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Here's let's see if we'll wrap it up here. James Sorensen, favorite album to jam out to on a long car ride.
Well, that's hard for me because most of the albums when I started listening to music, most of the albums were like half hour, 45 minutes, but Van Halen Fair Warning's my favorite album of all time. So many good, perfect albums. Big 80s fan, like maybe something by Doc and, Rat. I'm a big 80s metal fan. I follow this guy, Mitch LaFon, on YouTube. He's always talking like classic 80s metal. He's talking about
Doug Furness's old.
Yeah.
It's Philip LaFon.
Yes, but good call. Good call back. Thank you. Just give me an 80s. You know what? I always leave road trip mixes up to Mrs. Meanie because she always finds good themes. She'll like, okay, we're going somewhere. Let's do a playlist of all songs with states names in them, and then you have to go. Okay, let's do a playlist of all songs with colors, either in the title or in the lyrics.
That's really awesome, actually. That's a great way to come up with stuff. For me, it's always I can go to like Bare Naked Ladies Rock Spectacle is a great one because that's their first live album. Otherwise, I would say it's like I like to listen to 90s music. Don't care the genre, don't care what but it's just straight up 90s. I'll put 90s on and I could listen to that forever. Because that's I was born in 83, but 90s, that's my music. That's my
That's like for me, 'cause I was born in 73, so I'm huge 80s,
yeah.
but I do love the 90s as well. The 90s.
You don't really get into music until, you're in that like later elementary school, early middle school time period. So that's going to be a decade after you were born, so that's, not to say that there's plenty of 80s music that'll come on and that's, that's my jam, as the kids say back in the 80s. James Sorensen does ask, were you at all a DMX fan? I was actually. Yeah, I definitely was. Yeah. I remember, the Rough Riders anthem. Yeah. I remember my buddy Will playing that in his like Land Rover. Will lived up in the main line. He was well-to-do, and as they say, and we get in his car, and he's just like driving down into the city, just blasting that, and I am just, you want to talk about petrified wood, because I'm just like, we shouldn't be blasting this here. We're making ourselves targets. Yeah. I was very, we got a lot of looks, a lot of people looking at us like that isn't what you should be listening to, but I loved it.
Dude. When I went down to Memphis for WWE for a short period of time, that's kind of when I started listening to him. We had a DJ who worked for the promotion. I was like, dude, can you just make me a mix of like some hip hop? And a lot of it was the DMX stuff, and that became my, jam, just driving on long trips and stuff like that. Man, he was great, man. He brought an energy. There's an energy to him where you could just, it's great workout music, great, driving music, good stuff to get a speeding ticket to.
Yep.
That's
what you need. You need the good stuff to get the speeding ticket to. That's how you know you've done well.
Yeah, there's a lot of music like that, but DMX, man, rest in peace. That was a shame.
That sucked. That really sucked to
way too young.
Yeah, 50 years old is not
dude.
not old.
There was an interview with him, and he started doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that like became like me and Mrs. Meanie. That we put that automatically went on our Christmas mix.
That's awesome.
You know, we always have to travel. We try to do unconventional Christmas music for our mix, and that was always in there. DMX rap and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was awesome.
Well, yeah, no, that sucked to you know, he's too young and
yeah,
but he was a voice of a generation for sure.
Absolutely,
leaving a huge mark.
Legend.
But yeah, thank you everybody for the Ask Meanie questions. This has been a fun episode. And I hope that if you're watching this live, that you will be joining us tonight post WrestleMania. And I hope that if you're not watching us live, that you will go to either our youtube.com/mindofthemeanie or our facebook.com/mindofthemeanie or FITE TV and check out the replay of nights 1 and nights 2 of the Meanie Mania post-show extravaganza, which we are very excited about. I'm even going to wear a tie. And not just because I had a tie that was designed with a theme for WrestleMania last year and then wasn't able to go. That's 100% why I'm wearing the tie.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time doing that. And yeah, man, enjoy WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And
or hopefully you enjoyed WrestleMania since we're coming out on a Monday.
Yeah. There's that.
Because we're always topical. We're always on time.
Yeah. We're ready. And for those of you who decided to watch Jericho on Stone Cold's podcast, definitely catch the replay of night 2 of us.
Please bump up our numbers.
Yeah, bump them up. Just turn it on as many different devices as you can.
Yes. I dare you.
Yeah, seriously. You guys don't have the guts. But yeah, Meanie, I guess that's it. Hey, everybody, before we go, do us a favor. Follow us on social media at Mind of the Meanie across the board. That's Twitter. It's Facebook. It's Instagram. You can follow us as individuals that's not the words that were supposed to come out, but you can follow us as individuals as well at Blue Meanie BWO across the board and at So Says Shernoff. Check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie, ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie, and ProWrestlingTees.com/So Says Shernoff. Hey, you want a shout out on Cameo? We got you covered. That's Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. Blue Meanie? Yes, Blue Meanie BWO. And Cameo.com/So Says Shernoff. This has been exciting. Unfortunately, we ran a little long. Apologies to Al Snow. We were supposed to have him on the show. But hopefully next time, Al, we appreciate you hanging on, but we'll see if we can't get you next time. Meanie, anything else you have to say before we go?
Thank you to Giovanni Hamilton for taking time out to join us. Like I said, follow Giovanni on the Twitter. And just follow him in life in general. He's a very positive kid, man. And let's rally around him. I'm
Absolutely.
a big fan. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Big fan. Thank you to everybody who joined us live on the Patreon, and everybody who joins us on Monday mornings and Monday evenings, or on our YouTube on Tuesday evenings. Every ounce of support is appreciated because this is we're in this for the long haul. So thank you for everybody who joins us.
Yes, I second that, I third that, and I fourth that as well. And make sure to join us again next Monday and every Monday for another trip into the mind of the Meanie.
Blue World Order. The world of MLW radio never stops.